Hey, today after watching this video, you're going to know how to make a very popular dessert seen throughout Portugal. I had this dessert when I was visiting northern Portugal in a pastry shop called Arcadia, but you see it throughout Portugal and all the Portuguese islands. There's no salami in this dessert. It gets its name from the appearance. The dessert kind of resembles salami. When you cut into it, you see the dark chocolate with specks of bolachas de Maria that look like the little pieces of fat you'll see in salamis. And we'll get right to this. The first thing we're gonna do is make what they call a bain-marie. This is just so the chocolate melts at a low temperature. So water only could get to 212 degrees. So we're gonna put in some water. So get your pot with some water in it over low heat at a low simmer. Now we're gonna add in 12 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate. Now I'll add a half cup of sugar. And now I'm gonna add some butter. I have some Azorean butter. If you haven't tried butter from the Azores, it's delicious. The Azores are known for their dairy production. There's so many cows. They say there's more cows on the Azores than there are people. It's lush, it's green. The cows get to roam the island and eat this grass that is just kissed by the salty air. In fact, the Azorean cows are so popular, there's actually Airbnb experiences where you could go pay to work on a dairy farm just to get that dairy cow experience on the Azores. Put 4 ounces of butter in a bowl. Now with a rubber spatula, just slowly stir the chocolate every once in a while and the butter. So just keep on stirring it. So far it's only been about 2 minutes and we're probably about halfway there. I like to put in a little bit of salt, about a half teaspoon of salt. Since the inspiration of this dish came from northern Portugal, I am going to add some port. This is optional. You do not have to add any port, but sometimes port or Madeira wine is added. It adds a little complexity to the dish. So just put that right in there. Now add 4 tablespoons of whipping cream. 4 tablespoons equals a quarter cup, but you want to put in about 1 tablespoon at a time. You could put your bolachas de Maria in a bowl and crush them. I find it's pretty easy to put them in a Ziploc bag and crush them that way. They don't have to be pulverized because you do want to see the chunks in there. So you're probably looking at chunks between like a 1/4 inch to an inch in diameter. That's about it, set aside. The chocolate's smelling really good. When I went to culinary school in San Francisco, we had a few months of pastry training. They always had these vats, probably had like 3 gallons of melted chocolate. I would camp out next to that melted chocolate and just indulge myself by dipping whatever else was around the pastry shop into the chocolate. Big fan. Okay, so that's in there. All right, the chocolate is fully melted. That probably only took 5 minutes at the most. So I took the chocolate off the heat. Now I'm gonna let the chocolate just cool down a little bit for about 5 minutes and then I'll mix in the cookies. Speaking of the Azores, if you're a fan of Azorean butter, try my recipe, boulge, a very famous bread to the Azores. You put some of this butter on that bread, you're in heaven. 2 ways you could go about this. This chocolate has to get kind of thick in order for you to shape it into a salami log. So you either could not use ice, it's just gonna take a lot longer and you're gonna have to check on it. Or I like to get a bowl, the ice has to touch the bottom of the bowl to start cooling off the chocolate. Have your plastic wrap ready, have your aluminum foil ready because you're gonna need that to shape it into a log. We'll dump in our bolachas de Maria. 7 ounces or 200 grams of bolacha Maria. And you just want it to get a little thicker, but I could tell it's already sticking to the bottom of the bowl. So that's probably good enough. You can see the chocolate is kind of hugging onto the spatula. That's pretty good. So that was probably just on the ice water for maybe a minute. This bowl is still pretty cool. Now I'm gonna get out the plastic wrap, just get a nice sheet of that out. And we want to put the chocolate just right in there. And then we'll just fold over the plastic. And then you kind of want to work out any air pockets. And now the foil just gives it more support while it cools down. This is going to cool down in your refrigerator. So again, try to get it into a nice round shape. Tie off the side. And that's about it. Now we'll put it in the refrigerator for about 4 hours to let it cool down and get hard. And then we'll dust it with powdered sugar or confectionery sugar, and we'll be good to go. All right, the chocolate salami has been in the refrigerator for about 4 hours. Pull it out. Coat it with powdered sugar. It gives the impression of that paper that's wrapped around salami. So I like to keep the plastic wrap on there and just put a liberal amount of powdered sugar on the salami, and then just use the plastic wrap to almost press it on there a little bit. Okay, now it's ready to be sliced up. I like using the serrated knife. Now you can make the Portuguese chocolate salami dessert for your family. Go out, give this a try. Go cook for someone you love.